and welcome to healthyhouseplants.com, where we teach you all about gardening in the great indoors. If you'd like to support our show, please use our Amazon affiliate link below. Today we're going to be talking about philodendrons and their care and how to keep them very healthy and happy in your indoor garden. I absolutely love this family of plants because there are so many different varieties of philodendrons to choose from. There are actually 489 known species. Many of them are climbing plants. Others have nice big leaves that make a really nice statement in the indoor garden. This one is the Philodendron cordatum. This one, as you can see, has big, very tropical leaves. It is a nice upward grower. It makes an architectural statement in your indoor garden. Then there's the more common Philodendron scandens, which is heartleaf philodendron because the leaf itself is shaped like a heart. So here's a green standard one you can see here with big, beautiful, deep green leaves. They also come in different colors. This one is a limey green scandens with a smaller leaf. This one is in a revival series as well and is doing really well, as you can see here. There is also Philodendron Birkin. It's a newer hybridized philodendron on the scene that's really pretty. It has lovely leaves here with really nice variegation pattern. It is also an upward grower like the cordatum. So that's a good sampling of some philodendrons. Now, all 489 species aren't grown indoors, but there are quite a few that are, and they continue to add more to the collection that you can find for indoor growing. I would highly recommend adding some of these plants to your indoor garden because they are so easy to grow, and they light up the garden with their colors and leaf structures and leaf shapes and that sort of thing. So really, really nice plants for your houseplant collection. So how to keep them healthy and happy in your indoor garden? First of all, you want to make sure that you provide them with the right kind of light. They do grow best in medium bright light. That is pretty much their sweet spot. They can go a little brighter, but you don't want to put them into too much direct light. You wouldn't want to put them in front of a western window because they will get sunburned, so keep that in mind. They will also tend to yellow up too much if they get too much light. Of course, this lime green one is supposed to be lime green, but if you have a standard dark green that is yellowing, then you know that it's getting too much light. So stay away, as mentioned, from western windows. If you only have western windows, then pull the plants back a few feet from those windows. More ideal would be an eastern window or a northern window that gets a lot of bright light, maybe on the northwest corner. I do have a northwest corner room, and my plants do very well in that area. Philodendrons also do really well under full spectrum lighting. As I always mention, there are so many full spectrum lighting products out there to choose from now. You can get a simple bulb to put into a lamp. You can get lamps that look like octopus arms. You can get bigger bulbs that will cast quite a bit of light. So whatever you need to do to get the plants more light if you're in a pretty dim space. Watering for philodendron. They're not huge drinkers, but I would call them medium drinkers. You don't want their soil to dry out completely, but you definitely don't want to water them too often and have soggy soil. So like with a lot of houseplants, I suggest watering when on the moisture meter it reaches 4. And we'll soon be getting to 3. 3 is dry, and 4 indicates there is still some moisture in the soil, but not too much. So that is a really good number to look for when you're trying to decide if it's time to water your philodendrons. It will also depend on, in terms of how often you have to water, will depend on how light your home is, how warm your home is, time of year, and that sort of thing. Keep in mind, too, that philodendrons are sensitive to salts in the water and salts in the soil. Salts build up in the soil when the soil is getting old, and that would be an indication that you need to repot the plant. The salt buildup will show as crispy edges and leaf tips on your leaves of your philodendron. So that is a sign, as mentioned, that it's time to repot. I don't generally recommend repotting in the winter months unless you have to. Have to would be something like root rot. But if you're not having that and you're only having some crispy edges and some crispy leaf tips, I would wait until late winter, early spring to repot any philodendrons, and because at that time they will begin to grow well for you. Wintertime, they are still in a semi-dormant state. Keep in mind, too, that dry air, which is very common in heated homes and even the summer from air conditioning, will also cause brown leaf tips. I have a video on brown leaf tips that you can take a look at to see if what you think is the problem in terms of why you're getting brown leaf tips. That'll help you figure that out. Leaching your soil is something you can do even in the winter months to rinse out any salt buildup in your soil. What you want to do with that is you want to basically rinse the pot, rinse the soil from the pot. The salt buildup is especially a problem, as mentioned, and it can happen from chemical fertilizers, so I always recommend using organics instead. I've put a link below for the video on how to leach your houseplants, so that'll show you how to flush them, and that can also help, especially if you aren't able to repot your plants yet. For the soil itself, you want a rich, well-draining soil. ProMix BX is my favorite. Happy Frog products are also good. There's links below. You want to look for something that retains moisture, yet also drains well. Some of the soils on the market are basically shredded up bark, and those aren't good. They don't retain enough moisture. So you want something that is somewhat light and fluffy, but at the same time retains moisture as well. For fertilizing your philodendron, you want to use organic. As I mentioned, it's a better choice than chemical fertilizers. This is my fertilizer and is organic. To condition your soil, I have a pumice product as well, which promotes drainage. The drainage, as I often mention, is critical to prevent root rot. Also keep in mind that plant roots, in addition to requiring moisture, require air. Without good air circulation, you'll get anaerobic conditions in the soil, and that's when root rot sets in. Use a good organic fertilizer monthly on your plants spring through early fall, and then reduce feeding to just once in late fall and resume again in early spring or late winter. If your plant isn't getting enough food, its growth will be slower than normal and its leaves might appear smaller than usual. Although, as mentioned, keep in mind that plants during the winter months do grow slower. So when I'm talking about the leaf growth, consider that for spring, summer, and early fall. The temperature tolerance of philodendrons varies based on the species. In general, they should not be exposed to temperatures below 55 degrees Fahrenheit. So indoors, protect them from cool drafts, such as from air conditioning vents. They also like humidity, so you might have to boost humidity around your philodendrons, especially if you're in a dry climate or it's very dry air from forced air heating in your home. The crispy edges can also be from low humidity, so that's something to keep in mind. You can mist the plants a few times a day. That helps. You can put them on humidity trays. I do have links below for how to increase humidity in your home for your houseplants. And having more houseplants is another option because the houseplants humidify each other, so you can add to your philodendron collection as well, that way to increase humidity. Pests and diseases for philodendron. They tend to be pretty good about not attracting a lot of pests and diseases. Occasionally you may see some mealybugs, you may see some scale on them. When you do, you want to take care of it right away so that it doesn't become a problem, but they aren't pest magnets like some other types of house plants. So another great thing about this easy to grow, beautiful plant for your indoor garden. So let me know if you have any other questions about growing this beautiful family of plants. Thank you for stopping by today. Please leave any comments about any indoor gardening tutorials you'd like to see. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And please check the bell if you'd like to be notified when new videos are released.